nazywam Jakub Karpoluk, faktycznie pracuję w
No, my name is Jakub Karpoluk indeed. I am employed at the Polish Japanese Academy of Computer Technologies. My presentation will be devoted to puppet technologies and puppet theater, and it will not be devoted to a new technology so much that it will be devoted to the old technologies. And I would like to thank the organizers sincerely for inviting me here. And now if you could give me a few seconds for plugging in, I'll be right back with you.
This is the title of, it's not fully visible, Jakub's Well, Japanese No Theater Redefined. I deal with Japan professionally, but also privately, since my wife is Japanese. Japanese theater is a highly... Dzięki, okay. Okay. Japanese theater is a highly vibrant contemporary performing art, encompassing genres spanning almost a millennium. The classic forms of no, kyogen, kabuki, and bunraku, a puppet theater, are dynamic traditions developed centuries ago, but still perform for devoted audiences. Early 21st century finds itself marked by very intense intercultural dialogue in the field of theater. Theatrical interconnections seem to be related to performances of various ensembles working or produced outside the borders of their home countries. They use also by the use of transcultural elements in stage productions and cooperation between artists from different parts of the world. These phenomena are also characteristic, believe me, of contemporary Japanese no theater, which has a long history, almost 650 years. During the last few decades, quite a few international and transcultural so-called shinsaku no, newly written no dramas, have been produced. The number of these performances and willingness of no artists, including the field star performers, prove that there exists an entire artistic current which could be called transcultural shinsaku within modern no repertory. Examples include Pagoda, a drama written by Janet Cheng in both English and Japanese, produced for the stage by the Theater Nogaku, which is an American company, in 2009. Two Polish plays by my friend Jadwiga Rodowicz-Czechowska, Cioritsushi, the piano tuner, which we produced in 2011, and then Chinkon, Repose of Souls, which we produced in Wrocław, actually premiered in 2016. So they were brought to stages in both Poland and Japan by the Tesenkai Theater. And then the Japanese Greek drama, which I've seen, Meifuko Nekiya, based on the 11th book of the Odyssey, staged in Tokyo and Epidaurus in 2015. And then this one, which actually include new media elements, Dali no, staged in Tokyo in 2016. And the last one, titled At Jakub's Well, written by Austrian author Dithard Leopold and brought to stage in Austria, France, and Poland in 2019, again by the Tesenkai Theater, a renowned troupe of the Kanze School, Shitekata actor, since many years led by the Kanze Tetsunojo IX. And this is an ensemble of some 250 years of history. In August, okay, so that's the Vienna, Paris, Warsaw. that's not, it's a great theater, but not that easy to work, as you can imagine. In August 2021, so that's the original No stage, and this is the home of the Senkai No True Prob. Well, I've been working with them a long time, but I would say they are the best. And this is 2021 August production of A Jacob's Well at the Zakoenji Theater. As you could see also here, the stage was pretty remodeled, redefined for the purposes of display. This is how they, well, mounted. So this is a new design, referring to conventional no stage. Fortunately, at Jacob's Well was staged despite the pandemic. Unfortunately, 2 foreign actors, including me and my Austrian friend Nina Fock, could not appear because of the due to lockdown. I have found similarly fascinating a short piece titled Dali no, written by Shimizu Kanji, who also starred in that play. And this was staged for the Salvador Dali art exhibition held in the National Art Center in Tokyo in 2016. The production drew heavily on new media elements. In the projections, designer Seiichi used images of some of Dali paintings, including Atomic and Uranic Melancholic Idyll. And on 13th of September 2016, Dali no was performed during a ceremony at the National Art Center the day before the Dali exhibition opened. Brought back to life in present-day Tokyo, the painter's ghost wandered through the museum halls and even used the elevator. He sang the praises of scientific progress, reminisced about his wife Gala, prayed for the exhibition's success, and then finally disappeared. This is a part of that play. So ghosts in Japan used elevators. Or sometimes they have to. August, so that mask was processed by a machine. In August 2020, Kawaguchi Kohei and my friend Tanimoto Kengo, both of the Kansas school staged, I'm not sure if it's a good word, a VR no production, Ghost in the Shell, based on the cult manga comic novel by Masamune Shiro and animation by Oshimamoru. Both manga and no drama portray the battle of a cyborg policewoman, Major Kusanagi, and her partner against terrorism and cybercrime in a cyber society in near future. And the director Shutaro Oku, who said, I wanted to depict what the essence of human beings and virtual reality is through the collaboration of the well-known manga, traditional performing art, and state-of-the-art technology. In November 2020, the Senkai actor Nishimura Takao staged a play titled Farewell My Concubine, a fusion of No and Beijing opera. You can watch it on YouTube, actually. The list of similar performances is longer. Other examples of pushing No's conventional boundaries includes performances that combines aspects of No with realistic theater, buto, or those in which No actors perform conventional dances, to classical or experimental music. Beside the recent transcultural tendencies, to some extent, No has been a transcultural and interconnected performance practice for centuries. As the Chinese actor Leo Xingqi has noticed, a significant number of No dramas written mainly between the late 14th and mid-16th centuries are in some way related to China, Chinese culture, or Chinese characters. Complex relationship, of course, between Japan, China, and Korea go back a very long way. And since the 16th century, the relationships have existed between Japan and the European countries. These interconnections have manifested themselves in various ways, ranging from materiality of objects and texts through music and performing arts up to the religion and philosophy. Cultural interrelations expound the boundaries of conventional theaters worldwide, while recent rapid, at least pre-pandemic, globalization considerably accelerated a great deal of international artistic initiatives and theater productions. Erika Fischer-Lichte stresses that the theater in general did not develop in isolation in most cultures, but rather through cultural exchange. The same also holds true for classical Japanese theater. No, although still a conventional performance, has changed considerably throughout its history, and contemporary No artists are willing to get involved in various types of stage productions. I believe that this receptiveness to change demonstrated in past centuries ultimately paved the way for contemporary transcultural engagements of No actors and musicians. It also ought to be mentioned here that the creation of No as we know it now was a long process with a long line of artists contributing to it. Although the world of No theater is rather conservative in terms of stage aesthetics and acting, there is a specific need for change among the performers, as I could observe. Many contemporary No artists, including the so-called Kanze-san Kyodai, Kanze Hisao, Kanze Tetsunojo the Eighth, and Kanze Hideo here on the photo, along with their her Shizuo's son, Kanze Tetsunojo the Ninth, have significantly reshaped the No, also through their involvement in transcultural and cross-stage productions or workshops, sessions. Japanese aesthetician Yoshioka Hiroshi stated that Japanese aesthetics and arts, like aesthetics in any other culture, did not emerge solely from an isolated traditional entity, but were formed by complex and multiple interaction between different cultures. Beyond that, the decisive moment in the history of these interactions came with the impact of modern Western aesthetics and art, but this in the 19th century. But this was not a simple process of assimilation or indigenization. Instead, we are dealing with a collision of conventions, and this mutual process of colliding forms can be traced in the modern no theater. Evidence of that process can be found in places like Meifuku no Keiya, Chamber Opera, Komachi Revisited, produced in Canada, Dali no, and at Jacob's Wells, and many other dramas which form is close to the conventions of phantasm, Mugen no plays. The last transcultural Shinsaku no project I would like to talk a little is at Jacob's Well, brought to stage in September 2019, as I said, by the Tesenkai no theater in Europe, and as I have mentioned 3 months ago, premiered in Tokyo. The play was written by Dithard Leopold, who is a psychotherapist, art historian. His father was a founder of a very well-known Leopold Museum in Vienna, and Dithard is also a Japanologist. The no text then was adapted by Japanese scholar Oda Sachiko and Kansas school actor Shimizu Kanji, here with the glass, who also played the lead part and directed the project. I had the privilege of playing the Wakitsure part in this play. After some 12 years of acting apprenticeship, I was offered the role, I believe not because I mastered no acting so well, but probably there was nobody from Shimogakari Hoshio school where I learned, where I studied, available at that time, and I was just around the corner, right, in Poland. Well, and we know each other for a long period of time. These are my other, so this is my main master, let's say. Tonoda Kenkichi of the Shimogakari Hoshio School. I also learned shite acting with Kanzute Tsunojo and playing the drum with Toriyama Naoya. This is a short material from Vienna 2 years ago.
Ich glaube, es war schwer, den Nahostkonflikt ins No-Theater zu übertragen. Aber man kann es mit seiner kunstvollen Struktur dafür einsetzen, um darzustellen, wie der Einzelne mit dem umgeht, was sein Schicksal ist, das er nicht kennt. Damit kann man gewissermaßen Mauern einreißen, beziehungsweise unsere Augen öffnen. Und genau das ist, was No zum Ausdruck bringen kann. Hoffen wir jedenfalls.
Die Erleuchtung ist quasi in den buddhistischen Wegen die extreme Erfahrung der Ich-Auflösung in Selbst. Das No-Theater spielt das sozusagen auf einer menschlichen, vielleicht allzu menschlichen Ebene nach, aber mit einem ähnlichen geistigen Hintergrund. Und dafür habe ich dieses Symbol des Wasseranbietens und Wasserannehmens genommen.
Ich weiß nicht, ob man sowas einfach politisch nennen kann. Das Stück dreht sich ja einfach um Menschen, die miteinander Wasser teilen. Das ist ja für Menschen lebenswichtig. Und wenn man versteht, wie wichtig das ist, erkennt man auch, wie man in einer Gesellschaft zusammenleben könnte, wenn man nicht mehr das betont, was uns voneinander trennt.
The plot goes as follows. An old Israeli teacher guides a young Russian Jewish immigrant through Palestine, and they finally reach Jacob's Well near the city of Nablus. There they meet an old Palestinian woman who tells them the story of the encounter between Jesus and a young Samaritan woman by that very well 2,000 years ago. In the first part of the play, the woman by the well is a real living person who has lost both her young daughter and son in a terroristic attack and a military conflict. In the second part, the heroine reveals her true nature. She's the ghost of the young Samaritan woman from the past. She waits for a Jew to offer her water. Again, a sip of which would let her never thirst again. The two men, Sensei and the young immigrant, resolve to oblige her and take a step towards the woman. The younger man is skeptical, unwilling to cross cultural taboos, but the teacher is wiser and is finally able to convince the young immigrant to follow through. The old professor, Sensei, was played by the renowned waki actor Tonoda Kenkichi of the Shimoga Karihosha School. My shisho, the master teacher, who offered me the waki role. The climax of the first part follows the story of an old Palestinian woman who tells the travelers about the meeting of Christ and the Samaritan woman at Jacob's Well. As the tale unfolds and she returns to present, the chorus comments on her grief for the loss of her daughter and son, which is her reality. The woman laughs spasmodically and exclaims, "I'm like the empty bucket. I have nothing to offer." And sandstorms break out, and the Palestinian woman disappears into it. Here, the stage movement, based on existing patterns, were developed by the Shte actor exclusively for this drama. Like a standard play, Jacob's Well revolves around the central event of the past, the encounter between the Samaritan woman and Jesus at Jacob's Well, as related by the New Testament, during which he, a Jew, as I said, offered her, a native of Samaria, water. Simultaneously, it draws on a key poetic theme connected closely with this event, the importance of water and the significance of basic human gesture to offer and give water and to accept the offering and the substance. And here, a personal aside. I have been studying waki acting and writing about it for almost 7 years before that production. During that period, I stayed in Tonoda Kenkichi's house in Kanazawa. I trained with him in Tokyo. I met his mother and wife. I was present at the theater when his son made his debut as Waki. That's how that's actually how the keiko looks like. That's 2015 in Tokyo. And this is the most important in no theater. The bow. The bow is the most important, no doubt. And the relation between people. So no is a family business. I was trying to learn many aspects of no stagecraft, including maintaining costumes, which is necessary. And in the fall of 2019, I was granted a my ogi, means the fan, which is here. This one, as a symbol of my, let's say, debut, or being accepted, well, to some extent accepted. And I was told to do my job as a wakitsura. The climax of the, okay. Waki plays an important role in the beginning of the drama, for it is he who first appears on stage during the nanori, so-called the calling of names section, and he defines the whole situation. Waki provides the establishing monologue, during which he usually presents himself and the setting in which the action takes place. Later on, it is the character played by Waki actor, who usually summons the presence of the supernatural, a ghost played by the masked shite actor. In Jakub's Well, the first words belong to me and Tonoda Kenkichi. The dialogues were written in contemporary Japanese, but we acted very conventional way, according to no kata forms, including kamae, body position, and suriashi sliding walk in full traditional costume. Look like this. 2 minutes, let's say.
自分がヤコブの井戸でイエスに会ったサマリアの女と思い込んでいるんです。我々にできること何もありません。君はあの女の言葉に心を奪われなかったのかい？たとえ彼女の気が違っていたとしても我々と同じ感情を持った人間だ。あの女はこの神聖な場所を毎日怪我しているんですよ。どうしてそのようなことがわかるんだい？決まっているじゃありませんか。やってきては空の水桶を持って去るだけ。普通じゃありません。あの女は収容所に入れるべきです。そうしたら彼女を殺すことになるだろう。だから何なんです？もし今日が君の人生最後の日だったらどちらを選ぶかね？ 女を殺すか、それとも彼女にいくらかの平和を与えるか。人生最後の日、ざっとします。さあよく聞くんだ。今日がもし君の人生最後の日だったら、彼女を殺すか、それとも平和を与えるか。僕の人生最後の日、もし今日死なねばならなかったら、私はあの女に平和を与えるでしょう。ではそうしなさい。どの道我々は皆最後には死なねばならないのだから。しかし私たち何ができるでしょう。
As I mentioned above at Jacob's Well, Jacob's Well was originally brought to the stage in Vienna, Paris, and Warsaw, and each of the three capitals' local acting talents was involved in the production. In the I part, that of the supernatural cat commenting on human misdeeds. In the interlude between first and second parts, speaking in German, French, and Polish, respectively. The local actors helped connect the local audiences to the performance. In Tokyo, the cat was played by Myung-hwa Hong, actress of the Korean descent. The unusual, very unusual, Neko Omote cat mask was created especially for that project. The cat was an important character of the play. Here Krzysztof Szczepaniak, actor of the Teatr Dramatyczny in Warsaw, and its monologue took about 20 minutes. It has, let's say, eco-critically commented on the misdeeds of humans and their lack of common sense. The final moment of the play involves a gift of water. The political aspect, as Shimizu Kanji was talking in that interview, is naturally an interrogation of the present-day relationship between the Palestinians and the Israelis, their conflicts over the land where they live or want to live, their ongoing struggles over water in the area of Nablus, a resource growing even scarcer in the Middle East nowadays. The play also seeks to ask the question, who should or could make the Felsware intention move toward the other, so that both populations may peacefully coexist alongside each other, or maybe even in the same place one day. I also believe it has a broader general meaning, since similar conflicts can be found all over the world. Towards the end, right? Yeah, sure. So this is, I'm going to talk this is a short impression of the Warsaw spectacle, about 1 minute long. So concluding, the type of no performances that I have briefly examined above are in general experiments. Their performers are stepping into the unknown, trying to formulate certain contact zones, to borrow from Stephen Greenblatt, where cultural values are exchanged. But is the transculturalism a relatively new addition to conventions of the no theater? Well, not exactly. Many of the approximately 240 canonical no dramas that are still being performed today contain allusions to Chinese literature, and about a tenth of them, including masterpieces like Shakkyo, Kantan, Shoujo, here in the video, written by unknown authors, along with Choryo by Kanze Nobumitsu, Yokihi by Komparu Zenchiku, and others, features stories or characters that are Chinese in origin. The group of plays concerning Chinese locations and heroes today, often referred as karagoto, meaning Chinese subjects and things, has been in existence since the early days of No, written mainly between the late 14th and mid-16th centuries. These Chinese plays reflect the assimilation of Chinese culture in Japan during the Muromachi period or prior to it, and how the audiences and patrons of No view China and Chinese culture. No has been invented during that time, partly basing on a wide range of materials and images of China, which accumulated in and permitted Japanese culture prior to the emergence of the performance itself. Taking under the account the old Chinese repertory within No and the present-day slowly growing popularity of multimedia and transcultural Shinsaku No plays, prompted and augmented by globalization, I would go so far to risk positing that transculturalism as an artistic strategy seems to be included in the broad catalog of No theater constituent values and principles. Thank you very much. The play at Jacob's Well was published in Austria, and if you want to see this, send me an email. I will send you the file. Oh, thank you very much.